morning, everyone, and welcome to Coffee with Jeannie on Saturday mornings. I'm a transformational life coach, and today we are going to talk about clarity. Clarity being kindness, and it also gives you power. So many of us just go, oh, whatever God gives me, I'll just take. Whatever God gives me, I'll just take. Oh, I have a cat that's choosing to participate with us. Hold on just 1 second. I see she's moved the camera. We have our superstar cat here, Miss Kino, who loves to play with Facebook Lives. So let's try that again. Life always gives us crazy things to deal with, right? Good morning, Terry. So what are we thinking? I know for me, when I was younger, I'd be like, oh, well, whatever happens. But that is not such a great plan. Because if we don't know what we want, then we're just going to get whatever. But if we specifically know what we want, it helps us make better decisions, and it helps us grow, and it helps us to say no to things we don't need and yes to things we do. But I don't know about you, a lot of times I don't know what I really want. That's a lot harder than what I don't want. We've been programmed to the negative instead of the positive. So to make that shift and to create all these good neurons in our head and brain, which actually stimulate things and keep us functioning better, we can really rewire our brain to really be more like what God created us to be. Because God said man and women are good. That's what he said. He said, we are all good. And if you don't believe me, read Genesis. But that's what he says. And so we do have that love inside us. We do have that power inside us to change our brains, to be more positive, to really know what we want. And when we do that, it becomes very clear. And clarity, by the way, is kindness. When we just accept whatever, we're being nice. And nice gets us in more trouble than being kind. Kind is saying, you know what, I really like all these features that you are offering me. Let's say you're in a sales agreement and you're like, I really love all these features you're offering me, but here's what I'm looking for, and because we're not aligned, I'm gonna say no. Now, you haven't hurt their feelings. You've shared exactly what you're looking for. They may be even better able to help you and say, you know what? I know somebody that absolutely does it this way. You should get in contact with them. It makes referrals easier. It makes you save so much time and energy when you're trying to make something work that doesn't, because you're clear. But I don't know about you, how do you get clear? How do you get clear on things? It can be really challenging. So today, because these are little mini coaching sessions, because I really want you to feel what coaching feels like. Because if you feel what coaching feels like, you're going to want more of it. And I'll tell you later how you can get that. So right now, I want you to grab a piece of paper. I have a blank sheet of paper, and we're going to take 15 seconds. Literally, this is so easy. You can add more time later if you want to, but because this is just a quick little coffee morning thing, and I don't want to take up too much of your time, we're going to do 20 seconds. I'm going to put 20 seconds on the clock, and I want you to write down everything in your life that you don't want. Oh, I got my cat doing her thing again. Clearly, she loves being a superstar. We may have to put her in a little different area or have her hang out with me. Huh? You're being quite the bug this morning. So, what I want you to do is grab your paper and write everything in your life you don't want. And let me tell you, we all know. Are you ready? Go. Okay, stop. When you look at your list, and you can put comments here too, they might not be able to read them. I'm trying to work on how I can connect another mechanical advice, technology advice, so that I can see comments too. But go ahead and write them, because then I'll go back and read them, and then I'll comment for you. So I'll help you coach through that too. And if you want to message me some of your experience, I'd be happy to look at it and share what my insight with you. So I have, in that quick 20 seconds, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am up with 5 things that I don't want in my life, that I know I don't want in my life. Now we're going to turn them around. Because, right, if you think about a coin, there's a heads and a tail. There's always 2 sides to everything. And this is how we start to get clear. We look at, well, Kino, stop. I'm back. I don't want, I do not want my cat jumping up on this anymore. So now I have real clarity. The next time I do a Facebook Live, I'm going to make sure she's in the bedroom, right? Because this lighting is attracting her, and she's being a little pistol this morning. So all of a sudden I'm experiencing something I don't like, and I'm recreating it so that the next time I do a Facebook Live, we're not going to get interrupted, because I know I don't want a cat that interrupts me. Do you see how this works? So look at the first thing on your list that you don't want and see what you can create polar opposite. So if you don't want, I as a mom didn't want whiny children. I didn't. I was not good with children that whined or cried a lot. I just didn't have the patience for it, and God knew that. So he gave me children that were really pretty easygoing. They didn't create a lot of fuss and a lot of, he just, that was a blessing, because I knew what I wanted. I knew I wanted calm, easygoing children. And that's truly what has happened. They're still like that as adults. They're pretty pliable, adjustable. They can, because I knew what I wanted. So then if I knew what I wanted, I knew how to create that, right? I knew how to create that. So look at your list. If your list says, I don't want a small house, well, what do I want? When I was looking for my house, people laughed at me. They literally laughed at me, and they said, you think you can find a 5-bedroom house with 2 bathrooms on a large piece of land, affordable at the price that you think you can pay for that? Because I didn't have a great job. I had a wonderful job. Let me rephrase that. Wonderful job, but it wasn't great pay. So I didn't have a lot of income. And when I was thinking 5-bedroom house, or somebody else was thinking 5-bedroom house, they're like, there's no way she's going to get that on her little director of religious ed salary. Do you know that for the past 10 years, I've owned a home in North Dakota that was exactly that? Now, I wished I would have said that it was that I didn't have to do so much work on it, right? That it wasn't a fixer-upper. I should have said I wished it would be all together so I wouldn't have had to do so much work, but that's okay, because my children and I learned a lot about home repairs through our little fixer-up house. But guess what? It did have 5 bedrooms. It did have 2 bathrooms. One ended up not being workable later, but it still was what I had specifically said, because I knew what we needed. The more I knew what we needed, the easier it became. I'm going to share one final story with you that just happened recently, so you can see too that you can change what you think you like. And once you get in there, maybe you're like, ugh, maybe that isn't what I want. You're allowed to change something if all of a sudden you find out in the midst of getting something good that you thought you wanted, there's a piece of it you don't. 5 months ago or 6 months ago, I started playing around with the idea of having a puppy. And I said to my children, what would you do if I got a dog? And they were like, we would love it, Mom. We'd come see you more. Well, part of me being a mom and having older children is I want them to come visit me. I want them to be around me. I want to have a lot of fun with my children as they become young adults and create their own families. I want to enjoy that, right? I'm telling you my clarity, what I want. So I'm like, okay, well, then this activity will align with what I want because I want my children to hang out with me more. So they're like, Mom, we would love our children to do that. Like, we would love, having a puppy. I said, okay. So then I had heard that golden doodles are amazing dogs. They're gentle, they're kind, they're fun. They're a mix between a golden retriever and a poodle. As a child, I had this little poodle that I'd go visit at my aunt's house that I just loved. So I was like, oh, two things I loved combined into one. I think I'll get a golden doodle. And I started playing with that in my head. Well, then I said to my daughter, what if we got two dogs? Because I loved the little lab that we used to have that he passed away 3 years ago. He lived a great life, but we loved our lab. So I was like, what if I got a labradoodle and a golden doodle? And we all started laughing and we started playing. And here's the key to getting what you really desire and to keep being clear is to not put a whole lot of weight on it and say, this is what I want, blah, 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 blah. No, just play with it and have fun with it. And we all started in our imaginations thinking what it would be like if Mom got a puppy. Well, wouldn't you know, right after I started playing like that, I'm looking online and a friend of mine in Nevada had actually breeds golden retrievers. Now that's not a golden doodle, but as I started looking at her website, I was like, everything else about this puppy is exactly what I want, except instead of a golden doodle, she's a golden retriever. Golden doodle wasn't a hard sell for me. I was willing to say, you know what, God, everything else on my list fits the bill. And I think this little girl dog is going to be perfect for me because I had had bad experiences with buying a puppy from a breeder. So one of my clarifying things that I knew I wanted was a breeder that I loved or that I could connect with and knew that they did a great job. Well, I couldn't have found a better breeder. This breeder is a friend of mine. She's a friend of mine. Her grandma was a good friend of mine, so she's her granddaughter. I knew that they were reputable. I knew that they were great. I messaged her and said, hey, do you still have a few dogs left? And she's like, yes, we do. And I knew I wanted a girl because I'd had a bad experience with a girl dog before. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to try. I think I can do it this time. I want to get over that fear and that negativity because in my head, I thought all girl dogs are bad because of a bad negative experience. But now I was ready to try again and trust that, and then say to myself, well, if this girl dog doesn't work for me, then I can buy into that bad experience again. But what if it's good? What if it's good? So I had all these clarifying things. That sale went so fast, so easy. We connected and we picked up our dog on November 1st. Now remember, the other part of my dream said, oh, I would love to have a black lab too. Well, 6 months down the road, she's actually going to be breeding black labs. But the funny thing is as we started training Peaches, and I'm going to put pictures of her up on my website or up on Facebook after this talk. And hi, Lindsay, it's good to see you. After we did that, and I started having this little puppy again, and I realized how much work she is. And by the way, she's an amazing, amazing puppy. Love her so much. But I looked at my children and I said, I think I'm changing my dream. And they were like, why? And I said, so cute to have two little polar opposite looking dogs, a lab and a golden retriever. But I don't think I want to do that much work. Maybe down the road I might change my mind. And if I do, I already know what I want in a puppy, so it'll be super easy again and it will line up and I'll get it. But for now, I'm just going to rejoice in what I have. I'm going to take the time to just be so grateful that this part of my dream came true. And in living that and really experience peaches and love peaches. And then I can always reevaluate. Clarity. It's so kind. If we aren't, and we're so afraid of clarity, right? We think, oh my gosh, if I tell somebody this is exactly what I'm looking for, they're going to get angry or they might not like me. I'm a people pleaser. I love people feeling good when they're around me. I don't want to disappoint anyone. That's my thing, right? That's on me. So I have to say, well, what do I do then? Plus I need to protect myself. If we're nice, I could have just taken any dog and then I could be pulling my hair out because they don't have the demeanor that a beautiful golden lab does. Like, she just wants to please me. So she's so easy to train. I've had so much fun training her. That's what life is about. It's about having fun. And when we get really clear, I did the same thing with my car. I knew exactly what I wanted, exactly the price I wanted to pay for it. Do you know that it was so much easier for the salesman to find my car? It was a simple, easy sale because I knew exactly what I wanted. My son did the same thing. I said, when we're going to go look for you a car, don't come to me and ask me to help you until you have a list of every single feature you want on that car and how much you're willing to pay for it. When we went to the sale, he even knew where he wanted to go to buy the car because he had seen it. So online. So when we went, hi Stacy, when we went, it was so easy. And we said, this is what we're willing to pay because we had done the research. We found the clarity. Easiest car buying experience I've ever had. We were in and out so much faster than if we just would have walked in and said, I want to buy a car. I don't care what color. I don't care. Then you're going to get stuff you hate. And then your relationship, even with yourself, isn't living in your spirit. So then you get angry and frustrated because it wasn't what you wanted. It's what I told my son. I said, aren't you glad we didn't settle when there was a car exactly what you wanted, but also had the heated seats and the automatic start? For a little bit more money, you were able to get that. How much happier are you? And he was like, Mom, that was the best thing you told me, was go for everything I wanted and not settle unless it's an easy trade across the board. Like, to me, the golden doodle, the golden retriever, that wasn't like a hard sell for me. I was willing to compromise. Would I have gotten a lab if it had been a lab? No, I wouldn't have, because I was really in my heart wanting that golden, loving, kind, gentle, docile. I was looking for that. And that's what Peaches is. So I hope you take encouragement today and really don't beat yourself up if you've done something and you're like, oh my gosh, that was so not what I wanted. That's okay. That's the first part to clarity. But once you get clear, hold on to that clarity. Don't settle, because God's going to keep giving you more and more. And you just have to keep going through the process until you find exactly what you want. And you will. And you will love your life. And you're also helping other people too. You're giving them direction. And we all desire direction. It's so much easier if you say to me, Jeannie, this is what I want when I come to you for coaching, versus I don't care, just help me. Then I don't know what you want. It is of God's desire. He says, I will give you the desires of your heart, but you have to define them, because that's the part he gave us to do. That's our free will, and he's going to help you get there. I hope this was really fun. Thanks for joining me for Coffee with Jeannie on Saturday. Write your comments for me, and I'll catch you guys later. Have a beautiful day, and thanks for being patient with my cat, Kino. I do know she needs to be in a room from now on. Clarity. It makes everything better. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Take care, and I'll catch you next Saturday.